Today, a technician friend brought me an iPad 10. He said that after replacing the digitizer for a customer, the display suddenly stopped working, and he couldn't figure out why. Let's tear it down and solve this mystery together and see if we can bring this iPad back to life. When we plug in the charging cable, we can see the power draw is around more than 10 watts. This tells us the iPad is charging normally, and if it's able to charge, the mainboard is most likely booting as well. We'll lift the digitizer and check whether there's any image underneath, whether the LCD is showing something, or if it's just missing backlight. If there's image but no backlight, then we can focus our repair on the backlight circuit. It looks like there's no image at all, so this might be more complicated than we expected. Alright, let's open it up and see what's really going on inside. Time to tear it down and uncover the mystery. Normally when a device stops displaying after a repair, we first check the LCD itself for any signs of damage. Then we focus on the connector, since that's the most common failure point. And yeah, this connector looks slightly bent. That's likely the culprit. It seems the technician didn't disconnect power and forced the connector in without proper alignment, causing a short and damaging the backlight boost circuit. We'll remove the remaining parts and lift the motherboard slightly for inspection. This keeps the board away from the battery power, making it safer for us to check and repair. At this point, we can be pretty sure the issue is on the motherboard. Suspending the board like this is enough. It lets us inspect the motherboard safely, and when we apply heat during the repair, it won't touch the housing and lose heat too quickly. Of course, the best practice is still to fully remove the motherboard for proper repair. Before we start the repair, I want to double check whether this LCD is still working, so I'm going to reconnect it and test it again. Alright, let's reseat the connector and power it on to see what happens. We can see the screen flashes a white Apple logo for a moment, then goes completely black. This kind of behavior is a bit concerning. Have you ever seen something like this before? Luckily, when we shine a flashlight on the screen, we can still see the image. That means the LCD is fine, it's just the backlight that's gone. Gave me a little scare for a moment. Alright, let's go straight to the backlight circuit and check what's going on there. The backlight circuit is located under the shield, so we'll cut open this section using the grinding blade. Why am I not removing the shield with a hot air gun? Because the motherboard isn't fully taken out, and heating it here risks damaging nearby components or even accidentally blowing heat toward the battery. So cutting it open is the safer choice in this situation. Ah, damn. That's a fail. I accidentally hit the connector while cutting the metal shield. Good thing it's nothing serious, just a bit of the outer insulation got scratched. The connector itself is still fine. Alright, let's keep going. They're measuring the circuit. It looks like this protection resistor is the one that failed. This is a very typical case. The boost voltage spikes too high and burns out the protection resistor. So it's no longer passing continuity. In this situation, we could normally just bridge the resistor and it would work fine. But to prevent future issues, especially if another technician works on this device later, I don't want to short it. If I bridge it now, any future mistake could burn the upstream backlight circuit, and that would make the repair much more troublesome. Since I have a donor board on hand, we'll just take a matching resistor from it and replace the damaged one. Alright, let's go ahead and replace the protection resistor. Since the screen connector is also bent and dented, I'll replace it as well, just to be safe. We'll use low temperature solder at around 150 degrees Celsius to remove this connector. This way, the hot air gun doesn't need to run at high heat, which helps prevent any damage to the screen. I don't have a new connector for this model, but I do have an iPad Air for a screen here. The connector on that screen happens to match the one on the iPad 10, so we can use it as a replacement. I'll use the soldering iron to lift this connector off directly. I don't want to use the hot air gun here, even though I'm confident in my technique. There's still a risk of overheating and damaging the connector. So, to play it safe, this is the best method. For the installation, we can use the hot air gun because the solder is now low temperature at around 180 degrees Celsius. With the airflow set to about 200 degrees Celsius and applied slowly, it won't damage the connector or the flex cable. It's not perfectly done yet, because the temperature was low earlier. I didn't want to keep heating it too long and risk damaging the LCD underneath, so the solder probably didn't fully flow. No worries, we'll add a bit of flux and touch it up with the soldering iron. That'll clean it right up. Finally, the tough part is done. Devices that have been worked on before are never fun to deal with. Alright, let's install the motherboard and run a test. Great, this time the Apple logo lights up and stays on, and we can enter the system without any issues. The repair is complete. Let's go ahead and reassemble the device. That's all for today's video. Hope you found it helpful. Every small detail makes a big difference in repair work. Thanks for watching, And don't forget to subscribe for more tech repair tutorials.